clever lass. Now there was once a farmer who had but one daughter of whom he was very proud because she was so clever. So whenever he was in any difficulty he would go to her and ask her what he should do. It happened that he had a dispute with one of his neighbors, and the matter came before the king, and he, after hearing from both of them, did not know how to decide and said, "You both seem to be right and you both seem to be wrong, and I do not know how to decide. So I will leave it to yourselves in this way, whichever of you can answer best the 3 questions I am about to ask shall win this trial. What is the most beautiful thing? What is the strongest thing? And, what is the richest thing? Now go home and think over your answers and bring them to me tomorrow morning." So the farmer went home and told his daughter what had happened, and she told him what to answer next day. So when the matter came up for trial before the king, he asked first the farmer's neighbor, "What is the most beautiful thing?" And he answered, "My wife." Then he asked him, "What is the strongest thing?" "My ox." "And what is the richest?" And he answered, "Myself." Then he turned to the farmer and asked him, "What is the most beautiful thing?" And the farmer answered, "Spring." Then he asked him, "What is the strongest?" "The earth." Then he asked, "What is the richest thing?" He answered, "The harvest." Then the king decided that the farmer had answered best, and gave judgment in his favor. But he had noticed that the farmer had hesitated in his answers and seemed to be trying to remember things. So he called him up to him and said, "I fancy those arrows did not come from your quiver. Who told you how to answer so cleverly?" Then the farmer said, "Please your majesty, it was my daughter who is the cleverest girl in all the world." "Is that so?" said the king. "I should like to test that." Shortly afterwards the king sent one of his servants to the farmer's daughter with a round cake and 30 small biscuits and a roast capon, and told him to ask her whether the moon was full, and what day of the month it was, and whether the rooster had crowed in the night. On the way the servant ate half the cake and half of the biscuits and hid the capon away for his supper, and when he had delivered the rest to the clever girl and told his message, she gave this reply to be brought back to the king: "It is only half moon and the 5th of the month and the rooster has flown away to the moon. Let's spare the pheasant for the sake of the partridge." And when the servant had brought back this message to the king, he cried out, "You have eaten half the cake and 15 of the biscuits and didn't hand over the capon at all." Then the servant confessed that this was all true, and the king said, "I would have punished you severely but that this clever girl begs me to forgive the pheasant, by which she meant you, for the sake of the partridge, by which she meant herself, so you may go unpunished." The king was so delighted with the cleverness of the girl that he determined to marry her, but, wishing to test her once more before doing so, he sent her a message that she should come to him clothed, yet unclothed, neither walking, nor driving, nor riding, neither in shadow nor in sun, and with a gift which is no gift. When the farmer's daughter received this message, she went near the king's palace, and having undressed herself, wrapped herself up in her long hair, and then had herself placed in a net which was attached to the tail of the horse. With one hand she held a sieve over her head to shield herself from the sun, and in the other she held a platter covered with another platter.